Living in Brooklyn as an immigrant, I believe that America is one of the greatest countries in the world.
Throughout the 2024 presidential election, Owl Media conducted interviews with voters, covered protests, and visited Washington, D.C. on Inauguration Day. With the election in the past and Donald Trump nearing his 100th day in office, Owl Media wanted to revisit our election coverage and see what voters considered most when making their decisions.
We are voting for Donald Trump. We also believe he stands for family values and he protects the unborn.
I'm voting for Kamala. Mostly I don't like dishonesty. I also like people who are smart. She has more of those qualities than the other candidate.
I'm definitely voting for Harris and Walz. I'm very concerned about women's rights, women's reproductive rights, climate change, our economy, immigration reform.
I'm still undecided. My process is really to kind of try and circumvent any kind of propaganda or media. I do my own independent research a couple weeks prior to the election.
I'm voting for Trump this year.
And I'm also voting for Trump. Everything with like taxes, lowering grocery prices, all that kind of stuff. Also securing the border. I actually knew personally Rachel Morin that passed on the trail. Hearing that she died and got stabbed and raped from an illegal immigrant actually like really hit me hard.
I'm voting for Kamala Harris because her views and everything she stands for aligns with how I live my life as a young man.
I'm voting for Donald Trump. Trump was running the borders really well and wages were going up at an all-time high.
I am voting for Kamala Harris. I stand for her views when it comes to the Affordable Care Act. I know a lot of chronically ill people and they wouldn't be able to survive affording their meds if it weren't for this act.
Following Donald Trump's victory in the election, Owl staff returned to Washington, D.C. on Inauguration Day weekend. On January 18th, 2 days before the official swearing in, thousands gathered at the Lincoln Memorial for the People's March in support of women's rights, LGBTQ rights, racial equality, and other causes.
And I thought it was absolutely amazing that after Biden's speech, the Google search for oligarchs and plutocracy, Google searches spiked, which I thought was pretty amazing. I just wish they'd pull their heads out of their respective gluteal folds enough to look that kind of stuff up before. Unfortunately, they didn't.
I really felt like I needed to be here just to feel the support and to know that we're not alone and there's so many people that do care and we are for trans rights, women's rights, black rights, gay rights. We support each other and there's no room for hate.
On January 20th, Owl Media took one final trip to Washington, D.C. to hear what those attending the inauguration had to share. Although the ceremony was held indoors due to freezing temperatures, thousands were present for the event.
I'm here to see the big guy, Uncle Trump. Come to see him take office and, see how good we're about to be doing the next 4 years. We were directly at the door and they just cut everybody off, so we tried to beat it. It was brutal, 3 hours of standing, but again, it's an inauguration, only inauguration I'd ever want to come to.
I love Donald Trump. I love President Joe Biden. I love President Barack Obama. I love President Bill Clinton, President Bush, and we go way back. I love all the presidents.
He wants to protect us. He wants us to do better business-wise. And he's a regular Joe. He's like me, an entrepreneur, businessman, you know what I mean? He might not start from the dirt, but he still knows the way, and I think he'll lead the country as good as he did 4 years ago.
Share your thoughts on President Trump's first 100 days in office in the comments, and check back soon for more content from Owl Media.